Hello there. So, how is your week? Now, today's latest news from Congo is that this week, the president of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, is going to China to sign a very important agreement between these two countries. According to breaking news, is that the president of Congo is going to be in China for about 5 days, and during that time, he is supposed to meet President Xi Jinping of China to review and sign several key trade deals. So this is a trip about trade, and it's expected that one of the requirements of this deal, according to Congo, is to see or to secure 6 billion infrastructure for mineral deal with Chinese investors. And basically what this means is that Congo has discovered that they are the largest producer of cobalt, which is a mineral that is needed to make electric vehicle batteries. And China wants to control electric vehicle batteries. Or in other words, Chinese companies want to be the dominant battery manufacturers in the world, supplying batteries to companies like Tesla, to companies like the BMW, companies like BYD in China, and others. And so they need this cobalt in Congo. Now, what had happened before when the president of Congo came to power is that he started arguing that President Felix Tshisekedi had stirred up a storm, which was in 2020, accusing his predecessor of having signed lopsided contracts with Chinese companies, most of them Chinese, and saying that he wanted to renegotiate with those companies. And what followed is that he actually cancelled licenses to most of those companies that were involved in the mining of cobalt. And then they have been renegotiating. And that's the deal. Now, the deal the Congo wants is that Congo wants to connect the country to modern infrastructure. They want to construct highways from Kisangani to Goma, from Goma to Lubumbashi, from Lubumbashi to Mbuji-Mayi, and back to Kinshasa. So they want to connect their people and bring them over to the 21st century. And what they want is the Chinese to come and construct those highways in the jungles of Congo to make movement easy. And once they construct those roads, they're supposed to quantify the amount they have used and get paid in cobalt. In other words, instead of Congo paying with money, they can pay with the mineral cobalt, or they can still sell cobalt to other Chinese companies, and that money then can be used to pay for this infrastructure. So in other words, it has to be a win-win kind of deal and engagement. And China is up to it, is really interested in that deal where they get the mineral and they also provide this infrastructure. And that has always been the case with China in other countries. For example, in Angola, China has been involved in construction of roads and real estate. A lot of houses, kind of development in Luanda were undertaken by the Chinese. They have done a lot in that country. And in exchange, the loans are paid using crude oil in Angola, because I think China today is the largest buyer of Angola crude oil. And the same thing happens to countries like Namibia. You find the Chinese there, they buy a lot of, they actually bought 20 billion worth of uranium from Namibia. It's a lot of money for a country of 2 million people. So 20 billion US dollar for that uranium within a span of 5 years. And they have invested 4 billion back into Namibian infrastructure. So that shows when you hear that China has come to Africa to do what they call debt trapping, it's not actually or entirely true, because you see both countries are winning. And there's no other way about it. There's no other sweet deal that African countries can get, because you see, we have had all these minerals for generations. Our forefathers came and they were talking about these minerals. Some of them are dead, and they left those minerals, and they were living a very miserable life because there were no roads, there were no electricity some like 20 years ago in most countries in Africa, and there were no internet. Even today, some countries don't have that kind of connection, and you're not enjoying life as you should be while you are seated on top of all these minerals. So whatever you think, we can keep these minerals and get buried where they are, or we can have good roads, internet, electricity, and access to healthcare, which will enable us to live long, or continue talking about us having minerals. So it's a win-win. They can say whatever they want to say, but we don't need these minerals to be where they are. We need them to be sold, and then we want something better in exchange. Now, look at this article here. It says that the company in China, the largest company called China Molybdenum, which had invested about 2.5 billion in a mine in Congo, wants to double their output this year. So it means they are sure that the deal will have to go through, and they are going to double their basically production in Congo and sell more batteries, or sell more electric vehicle batteries. So that is the story, and that is what is going to happen this week. So once Felix Tshisekedi goes to China, I'll update you on that, and whatever thing they do there, I'll also update you. But bottom line is, the previous regime, according to the current president, they had only signed 550 million worth of license to this company for a whole mine, but then he cancelled those license, and he wants 6 billion instead. And this money, he doesn't want it delivered to Kinshasa, because definitely it might be stolen by politicians and corrupt officials. He wants China to keep it, but instead send people who are going to come and construct roads and railway. And that's what is happening. And I think a lot of countries are also learning or studying what is happening, because you find Kenya is investing a lot in Congo, because it's like they expect Congo to have one of the fastest growing economy in the next few years. A lot of Kenyan companies, insurance companies, banks, and a lot of farming companies from Kenya are going to Congo to set up themselves. And that's why you find the Kenyan government is also sending their troops to pacify that region and make it safe for investors to come in and basically do their business. So that is one of the reasons why M23 is being fought, or basically being asked to make peace with the government, because countries are interested in investment, and Congo has everything, the market, the minerals, everything that any country would want. So read here. The Congo, or the DRC, is the world's largest producer of battery material called cobalt. It is also has signed significant deposits of diamonds, or it also has significant deposits of diamonds, gold, lithium, and tantalum. Imagine this country can make a whole electric battery all by itself, because they have the cobalt, which I think is acts as an insulator, or battery has the cathode side and the anode side, and I think the electron come from lithium, which is the cathode in this case, and I think cobalt is the anode in the electric battery. I don't know. And you see, basically all you need to make an electric battery is lithium and cobalt. That's all you need, and other easily available materials, but these ones are rare. So you need lithium and cobalt to make an electric battery, and Congo happens to have them. I mean, Congo can make a whole electric battery all by themselves. But of course, we don't have that kind of investment or technology today. So that's why we sell these minerals to those who have, and in this case, the Chinese. And in return, we want them to give us something, which in this case, what Congo needs most is infrastructure.